Hello, I'm Hannah Richell and I really hope you enjoy my new book, The Shadow Year. This is my second book and it's really two stories woven into one novel. We start in the 1980s with a group of friends who have just graduated and they travel up to the rural Peak District one glorious summer's day and discover an abandoned cottage. And over the course of this one day, they decide that they're going to live a year-long experiment. They're going to drop out and live self-sufficiently at the cottage. And it's about what happens to this group of friends as tensions rise and things become much, much more difficult for them. In the present day, we meet Lila, who is in a rather dark place in her life. She's struggling with a marriage that's about to collapse. And she is sent the key to this abandoned cottage in the Peak District, and she travels up there and decides to hide out for a year and see if she can renovate the old place. And while she's there, she starts to reveal the story of the inhabitants that have been there 30 years previously. The title, The Shadow Year, really has a double meaning. The shadow year can refer to both the years of the inhabitants at the cottage. With Lila, she's moving from a place of darkness out of the shadows really towards hope. But for the group in the 1980s, they're really descending into the shadows as their year progresses. But there's another meaning as well in that 1 year from the past really does overshadow a year in the present. So it's a story really about how the past can reach out to touch not just our present, but also change our future. The Shadow Year is my second book and I wrote it after Secrets of the Tides, which was a very different experience. I suddenly was wrestling with quite a lot of self-doubt and a looming deadline, which was a very different experience for me. And I actually wrote the first draft of a completely different story before the idea for The Shadow Year came to me. And it was quite a difficult moment to set that to one side and throw myself into the lake and the cottage up in the Peak District. But I knew it was the right thing to do, and I just felt so excited about the story once it had come to me that I raced to get it down. I wrote it really in a fury, both to hit my deadline, but also furious at myself that I hadn't had the idea sooner.